Welcome to the Automation World Get Your Questions Answered podcast. I'm David Greenfield, Editor-in-Chief at Automation World, and in this episode, I'll focus on clearing up some of the confusion about different artificial intelligence technologies and how they're being applied in the manufacturing industries and to the development of industrial automation technologies. Now, we're drawing attention to this because artificial intelligence has quickly become an inescapable technology development pretty much everywhere, and industrial automation is no exception. But based on comments I've heard in several conversations, it's clear that AI is still a bit misunderstood. For example, I've heard dismissals of AI technologies based on the hallucinations that have been noted in generative AI technologies that can affect the output provided. And while this is true, those comments were made in discussions about AI data analytics, not generative AI, which is often referred to as Gen AI. And even with Gen AI, there's a big difference between Gen AI that's been trained on specific targeted sets of data relevant to, say, a specific manufacturing facility and its equipment and software systems, and Gen AI that's been fed data on a wide array of subjects from a variety of sources, many of which may not have been all that dependable in the first place. So there's clearly some confusion about these different types of AI, how they're applied, and the kinds of results they can provide. To help clarify this, I want to focus in on the application of AI for data analytics and Gen AI for manufacturing production operations and how they interact with industrial automation technologies. So let's start with AI for data analytics. While this is a relatively recent addition to the automation technology arsenal, it's been in use for several years now for applications ranging from production analyses to predictive maintenance. In very, very basic terms, AI for data analytics in a manufacturing setting essentially crunches the data fed to it from a company's plant floor equipment and software systems, including front office software such as ERP, and applies algorithms to sort through it all to highlight trends and anomalies and provide insights into business possibilities based on the correlation of data gathered from these disparate systems. Now, generative AI, as described by IBM, can create original content ranging from text, images, video, audio, or software code in response to a user's prompt or request. Now, because Gen AI can be fed so much data from so many different sources, we see those issues like hallucinations and other problems with the technology that require its results to be thoroughly reviewed by humans before being put into action. But again, that's general use generative AI. In a more controlled context, where the data input into a Gen AI system is provided by trusted sources and is focused on the equipment and systems specific to a particular company or a group of companies working together, the results will be far more reliable. As IBM explains it, Gen AI models work by identifying and encoding the patterns and relationships in the data supplied to it. And then they use that information to understand users' natural language requests or questions and respond with relevant new content. And that's why you're seeing so many automation technology companies implementing generative AI technology for what's commonly referred to as copilots. Now, these systems are trained on a relatively closed set of data specific to the user's application and the technologies they're tied to, of course, from the supplier, rather than by scraping resources from all over the internet. So, just as data analytics AI has become fairly ubiquitous in manufacturing systems of all types over the past several years, we're seeing a similar upswing now with generative AI for manufacturing operations and design applications. A few recent examples include the announcement from Siemens and ServiceNow around their partnership to boost industrial cybersecurity and drive the integration of generative AI into shop floor operations. This partnership involves the connections of Siemens Synek Security Guard for industrial vulnerability management and Siemens Industrial Copilot for generative AI-powered automation with ServiceNow's workflow automation software. Siemens GenAI-powered industrial copilot will be used to provide users of ServiceNow's platform with new levels of control over operational processes through the interaction between static and dynamic machine data. Now, that phrase, new level of control, refers to the ability of users to interact with the Copilot technology in their own language to get detailed instructions and recommendations based on their request. ServiceNow said that its ability to automate workflows, from maintenance scheduling to real-time problem solving, helps ensure that the AI-driven insights from the Copilot translate into tangible and efficient actions that improve productivity and minimize downtime. And on the manufacturing design front, Tony Carrara with Rockwell Automation recently wrote an article for Automation World about the use of generative AI for generative design applications and how it's impacting the automation technologies used across manufacturing industries. Tony said that generative design, which has long been used by automation manufacturers in the design of their products, is experiencing a significant evolution with the integration of Gen AI. He said Gen AI brings a new dimension to generative design by incorporating human-in-the-loop capabilities to transform how engineers and manufacturers conceptualize, create, and optimize automation technologies. He added that it's important to differentiate between existing generative design capabilities that use traditional AI and the emerging trend of integrating Gen AI. So, unlike traditional generative design methods that rely on AI algorithms alone, the addition of Gen AI introduces a more interactive and iterative approach where engineers can provide feedback and guide the AI system towards more optimal solutions. Tony said this allows them to explore vast design spaces and generate numerous potential designs based on specified parameters, constraints, and performance goals. He said this approach is particularly well suited to automation systems where multiple variables and competing objectives often need to be balanced. Applying Gen AI-powered generative design to automation systems increases the speed at which multiple design alternatives can be generated and evaluated. Tony said that in a matter of hours or days, the system can produce hundreds or even thousands of design options, each optimized for the given parameters. For example, if sustainability is a priority, the Gen AI can be directed to focus on eco-friendly design options. Now, another application cited by Tony involves technology alignment with industry standards and best practices. He said Gen AI can be used to verify system compliance with cybersecurity standards by highlighting areas where a system deviates from established norms, helping engineers to maintain consistency and quality across projects. The technology is also being used to standardize practices across engineering teams, particularly in scenarios where engineers of varying experience levels need to adhere to the same design standards and use consistent libraries. Tony added that this consistency is really valuable when replicating systems across different sites or environments, as Gen AI can suggest appropriate adjustments while maintaining overall design integrity. So the bottom line here is to not be too dismissive of new AI applications coming to automation technologies because of the issues we've all heard about with Gen AI tools that get most of the media attention for general use like ChatGPT or Gemini. The Gen AI tools from automation suppliers focus on specific sets and sources of data to ensure the accuracy of results. Now, further development of generative AI tech will be important to the manufacturing industry's focus on capturing the knowledge of its expert engineering, operations, and maintenance personnel to guide the next generation of industry workers. These manufacturing-focused Gen AI tools are poised to be the technology that make that goal a more easily attainable reality. So, thanks for joining me for this episode of the Automation World Get Your Questions Answered podcast series. And remember to keep watching this space to stay on top of the latest news, trends, and insights on the world of industrial automation.